Hey, I'm Christina. Welcome to Sprinkle of Liquid Sunshine. Thank you for joining me in my crafty little corner to talk about all things crafty. You can find me on Instagram as Sprinkle of Liquid Sunshine, and you can just follow along on my crafty little journey. Today I'm just gonna quickly talk about what my show is going to be all about. Crafts. I'm pretty much will try just about any craft. So I have a lot of things that I enjoy doing, but I have just a couple things that take the majority of time in my crafting time, so they're more my favorites. A few things that I do, I've done woodworking and I really enjoy that. I don't have as much time to get out and do that, but I'm getting better. I enjoy making jewelry. That started because, you know, I couldn't find the jewelry that I liked, and so I just decided one day that why don't I just make it. So I make pretty simple jewelry, nothing fancy. I don't more natural things that I couldn't find at the store. I also do some sewing. Mostly though, I knit, crochet, and I just recently started to weave. And actually weaving came about because I have so many pieces of leftover yarn, and I didn't want to waste it. So I thought, hey, why don't I use it for weaving? I mean, we're talking little tiny pieces, small things that aren't big enough for, you know, a square on an afghan. And a lot of these yarns that I'm using were yarns that I wouldn't normally actually knit or crochet with because they're pretty difficult to work with. Things like the right here, some Lion Brand Go for Faux fur, which is really good for things like hair scrunchies. I used it for the brim of a hat for my niece once. The other yarn that I found and most people will agree if you're familiar with homespun yarn. Yes, I have a lot of homespun yarn and lots of different colors. I don't actually know how I got so much. I think mainly from my mom or gifts, or actually recently one of my relatives decided she wasn't really into crochet and she sent me over a big bag of homespun yarn. So I have a whole lot. I didn't want to toss it out, so it actually is really nice for weaving. I'm not a pro at weaving by any means, but it really looks nice in weaving. I liked, let's see, I'll just show you some finish objects that I have. First, I have some crochet. So I like to crochet. This is a little hat that I made, and this was just a pattern that I came up with. I just crocheted the size of my head and did some decreases, but mainly I enjoy a lot of texture, so I added some puff stitches, and then I kind of alternated singles and doubles to make it just a little bit different all over. This one I used some Caron Simply Soft, and actually it is really nice yarn and it holds up really well. I mean, I've worn this hat a lot. It's one of my favorite hats, and it still looks great. Been through the wash and all that and had no issues with it. The other favorite item that I have that I crocheted is actually a shawl, and this was from a mystery crochet along, Rose City Yarn Crawl mystery crochet along that I did 2019, I believe it was. Yes, it was 2019 or 2020. I don't think it was, but here it is. Now I did follow the pattern until I believe it was the last clue. I am, like I said, kind of a more plain person. I don't like a lot of zhuzh on me personally, and this was supposed to mimic, I believe, a bird's wing, so it had a lot of extra details at the bottom. It was really pretty, but not for me, so I decided to skip that part of it. But I love this so much. I wear it all the time. Has some beautiful tonal greens in it. I like the yarn so much that I actually went back to my yarn shop and purchased another hang of it just for a future project, what have you. This is called Great Adirondack Yarn. This is, oh yeah, Great Adirondack Yarn Company. And it's a fingering weight. This hank has 495 yards, which is quite a bit. And this is 51% cotton and 49 bamboo. This color is called Cactus, and oh yeah, it is so pretty. It's so drapey, and it's really nice. And I wear it in the summertime. It doesn't get hot. It's nice and cool to wear, and it's super drapey. The fabric that it made is just my favorite. Some other objects that I have made. Let's see. So my best friend Michaela, who has a show here on YouTube called Hooked in a Flash, absolutely loves socks, obsessed with socks. So I have been blessed with a very high instep. So she is helping me trying to find the perfect pattern to fit, and it's been quite a journey. This is, I think, yeah, my second sock. Still not right, so back to the drawing board. But here it is. It's beautiful and I love it. I use unique sock yarn. I did a Fleagle heel on it, which fits me really nice. The issue is actually the top here. So we have a couple of other ideas to try. No matter how stretchy I make my bind off, anyway. So back to the drawing board. Another pair of socks that I can't wear. It will be a nice gift for somebody. Well, let's see here. My last two objects here. Some shows that I enjoy, or YouTube channels that I like to watch. Ross, it Smells Like Yarn. I like to use his Ross hat pattern. It's free. You can find it on Google, or if you watch him, you know. I use his hat pattern all of the time. I make it different sizes. This one's for my daughter, but it's a really great, just standard hat pattern that I do. I use it all the time, and then I'll add different things to it that I want. Make it bigger for me or my husband. I do tend to, for me and for other people, his pattern, I believe he says to go to 6 inches. Honestly, that's a little tall for me, so I always go to 5.5 before I start my decreases. But that is really the only thing that I change about the pattern. Overall, I use it just how he has written it. The other thing I like to watch, Arne and Carlos. And this Christmas, I did a few of the Advent balls I didn't do all of them. I'm not that fast, but I will be spending the next year working on them, and because they're a lot of fun. And so I have this little ornament here. This was called Nutcracker. I don't remember what day number it was, but I made this up for my daughter for Christmas. I used DK Weight Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn, which was actually really, really perfect for this, because I actually I've already gifted them, but I've made 2 or 3 other ones, and I used different yarns, and none of them seemed to be right. But this was the perfect yarn. Some current things that I'm working on, whips, would be, the first is this pair of fingerless mitts, and I'm doing Judys Magic two at a time, and I have just a little ribbing. I did a 2x3. I'm just winging it. This is my own little pattern knit with one of my favorite knitting needles, Shawl. Probably one of my favorites. I do use Hiya occasionally for certain things, and I have DPNs that I like that are wooden, but normally for pretty much anything I use Shawl for everything. The other knit project that I have is brand new. My friend, again, over at Hooked in a Flash, Michaela, she was doing a knit along with someone, doing a brioche hat. I never had done brioche. It was actually on my Yarny Goal list, but she talked me into, and it's so worth it. It takes a while, but look how pretty it is. This is brioche. I'm just doing knitting in the round, and it's just plain ribbing. I'm just gonna do a simple cowl to start out with. Nothing fancy, nothing other than just going to do ribbing the whole way. I'm using Yarn Bee Katarina in Saturday Siesta, and let's see here. This is 90 acrylic, 10 nylon. This is a 3-weight. It is 2 strands wound together, so it sometimes splits. It's actually not too bad. I haven't had too many issues with it, so that's good. And the other one that I'm using was Knit Picks palette in just black. So it'll be really cute because one side looks really dark, but when you kind of spread it out, the colors pop out. And then the other side, super colorful, and then boop, you have just a little bit of black. So hopefully I can finish that in like next week or so. My other project that I'm working on, and I just want to show you, I got this for Christmas. I don't know if that you can read it, but it says ball sack. So yeah, this is my ball sack, and I like to keep my projects in there now. And I'm super excited about this. This is again, my friend Michaela and I, we're designing a cardigan together. And this came about because we've been wanting something really soft and squishy to wear around the house during the winter. Just something to throw on like a blanket, but not a blanket, but something cute and with some texture to it. So we are together designing a cardigan, and she found, I'll just show, I don't have much. We are starting at the bottom, and this is crochet. So here is just, I have the bottom, and we're kind of calling this bottom portion ribbing, but it's not. So it's so pretty. This is the Trinity stitch, and we originally were going to do the entire thing in the Trinity stitch, but we quickly realized that it takes a lot of yarn. A lot of yarn. It's beautiful and I love it. So we're kind of, this is going to be the bottom, and then we're going to crochet up to the top, and you know, then we're going to trim it in some more Trinity stitch, kind of like it would be ribbing, so to speak. The rest of it, we're just have switched to double crochets, which we'll be able to just fly through. The other issue with the Trinity stitch was that it's kind of hard on your hands. When we were going to the next row, in order to get your crochet hook in there, it's no matter how loose we were making it, it was still hard on your hands. Not fun for an entire cardigan. So the yarn that I'm using is green, my favorite color. I don't know if you can tell. But I'm using Big Twist Value, which is 100% acrylic. And this yarn, I am shocked at how soft it is. And I actually have frogged this because we're designing it, so I've actually frogged my project, I want to say 3 or 4 different times, and it looks the same as when I first started. So it's actually pretty nice yarn. I got it at Joann's. I think I got it on like a Thanksgiving sale or something. It was like 2 for $3. So I essentially am gonna be paying, you know, $6 for this entire cardigan, which in yarn is really cheap. So this is a medium 4 weight, and this is the Big Twist Value. There's different ones that they have. I think they might have a larger skein, I can't remember, but they also have one with some sparkle in it. This one is 380 yards, which is quite a bit, and this color is Forest Green, and it's beautiful and so soft. Not anything like Red Heart. Red Heart is so scratchy. Oh my goodness, so scratchy. Can't really wear Red Heart unless you wash it probably a good few times. So yeah. Oh, other shows that I like to watch on YouTube. There's quite a few that I do. Mostly I watch my in real life friend Michaela at Hooked in a Flash. Her show is wonderful. I also enjoy watching Crystal over at Bag a Day Crochet, Craft House Magic. Ellie is really sweet I love listening to her. I watch Full and Vines and the Woolies. The Woolies I started watching, and that is how I got kind of interested even more in weaving. So, you know, it's fun to watch new shows, and maybe not, because then I pick up new crafts along the way. I also watch Ross over at Smells Like Yarn for tutorials. Very Pink Knits is the place to go. Arne and Carlos, of course, are great to watch, and not yarny but crafty, and she does a lot of cosplay. I like to watch Rachel Maxkey. She's super funny, and I could watch her all the time. Yeah, so those are a few places that are a few people that I like to watch. One thing, I think this is the last thing that I'm going to share. The yarn shop that I like to go to is here in town. It's called Teaselwick Wools. I think I mentioned it in the beginning with the other yarn. I went there just a couple days ago and purchased a couple yarns with a gift card that I got for Christmas. But Teaselwick is actually located in a mill, a wool mill from, I believe, 1859, and now I cannot remember the exact date, but it's amazing. There's a museum, so it's pretty awesome. You learn about, you know, wool and how it was woven and spun and things like that. And anyway, so a few days ago I went in to Teaselwick's and I picked up a couple yarn. This one is just black. I needed just a black sock yarn because I plan on making some colorwork socks, so I kind of needed just a plain color for heels or toes, or just, like I said, some colorwork. Not the entire sock. I'm not knitting in black. That's fun. So this is Heritage Cascade Yarns sock yarn. It is 75% merino superwash and 25% nylon. And I think the color is just a number, 5601. And then this is 437 yards. Now I haven't actually used this brand before, so I don't know, you know, how it knits up yet, but it feels really nice and feels really soft. The other thing I have had my eye on for a long time is by Knitted Wit. They have some gorgeous colorways, and I finally was able to pick some up. This one is called Nettlewig, and it's beautiful. I mean, it is gorgeous. I can't wait to use it. I'm gonna make a shawl with that. This is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, hand wash, lay flat to dry. So definitely for me it will be a shawl or something that I don't wear very often, because I am not a hand wash, lay flat to dry kind of lady. This has 420 yards in it, and it is so soft and it is so gorgeous, and it's hard to tell. It looks black, but you know, it's just all shades of purple. So that is all I have, and I can't wait to come back and share some more with you. Bye.